Major Tom here.
And I'm Warbrain.
We're finally get around to reviewing Borderlands 2. It's a long game, so it took a while. Alright, but anyways, it's going to be a pretty simple review. It's basically bringing back, the first game with some changes and some new characters. But the story is very simple. There's a guy named Handsome Jack, and he basically took credit of everything in the first game. Now he's the leader of the Hyperion government, and his overall goal right now is to open another vault. You take the role of one of the 4 new vault hunters coming to town, and you end up partnering with the old characters from the first game, and overall trying to stop Jack from opening the vault and causing mass destruction. Now, the 4 characters, you got Salvador the Gunzerker. His specialty is dual welding. You got Axon the Commando. He's got turrets. You got Maya. She's the new Siren. She's got this phase lock ability. It's kind of like that ability in Mass Effect, where you hold the guys up in the air, like freeze them in the air. It's exactly like that.
Yeah.
And then you've got Zero, who's like an assassin, and his power is he puts on like a hologram image of him, and it distracts everyone. And he's
so it's like a less direct attack.
Yeah.
So you actually have to go around the guys.
Yeah. Which a lot of people seem to be having the most complaints about him, but you got to play him right. You can't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, overall, I would say the Commando Accent, he's easiest to play by yourself because he's like your overall all-around character, and he's got turrets, so he's pretty easy and pretty strong by himself. But like for instance, Zero is a very hard character to play by yourself because he's more like support with sniping or up close and melee combat.
Yeah. So he's kind of screwed when it comes to a lot of guys.
Yeah. And the Siren, she's also very good as like a healing type class. And then she could phase enemies and run away, or help your team by locking up the enemy and everyone mows them down. And and then the Gunzerker, he's a beast. He's a beast.
Well, he's pretty much like the Berserker in the other one, or whatever he was called.
Yeah.
The guy with the fists. He's pretty much the same as that. Like even his power is pretty similar. Don't you heal with this one?
Yeah, you heal and you could take like more damage, and you just take out 2 guns and just go crazy.
Yeah, so instead of punching people, you're shooting people.
Yeah, and he's my favorite. That's the guy I play through the story with. But so yeah, everything's pretty much the same, but they basically fix anything that like fans had a problem with to the simplest things of when you get down, you can now move and crawl over to your teammates instead of being stuck there. And one of my favorite things they added was this badass ranking system. It's in-game challenges. It can range from getting kills with certain weapons, or there's even like things per certain levels. And once you complete a certain amount of challenges, you get points, and then you unlock coins. And you could use the coins on certain stats, and their permanent stat increases for all your characters across your game. So even if you start a new character, it'll have that permanent stat increase that you gain from the badass ranking, which is probably my favorite thing they added in the game. But overall, it's if you don't know what Borderlands is, it's kind of like you could do what you want pretty much. It's like open world. You could choose what missions you want to do, and it's like shooter mixed with some RPG elements, and then you got like the open world element. So that's why, and of course the loot, just finding dungeon exploring and finding lots of loot. So that's why I think it appeals to so many different people. It's got a little bit of everything.
Now, I didn't really care for the first one. Mostly because of the loot and the environments and just kind of the repetitive gameplay.
Well, I mean, this time around they do have, like every place you go is like a new environment now. You start off in like a snowy area. It's got like the wasteland areas, but it's a lot of, you go to see some of the new high-tech areas that Jack runs now. You go into mines. A lot of different areas, a lot of new different enemies. You're not just finding... In the first game, you felt like you were only fighting, like, bandits the whole time.
It was bandits and then, like, racks and...
Yeah, they added, like, a whole bunch of new enemies. My least favorite one they added is, like, this stalker guy. And he's, like, this weird-looking creature. And he, like, teleports around everywhere. And so you basically either got to wait for him to stop teleporting to shoot him or, like, electrocute him so you could see him. And he stops teleporting. I hate them. They're my biggest pain in the game.
That's almost as bad as the enemies that'll... I don't know if there's any in this game, but in other games they'll have enemies that jump around the room and stuff, and you gotta try to shoot them. Those are always my least favorite.
Yeah, what I do is either throw grenades everywhere or just wait for him to stop standing still and just pour a bunch of bullets right away.
Yeah, you usually gotta like watch where they're gonna stop or something, and just wait there for them to go back to that spot.
But yeah, I'm gonna say though, if you're not into like finding loot though, this game's really not gonna be for you because you are constantly finding loot, and that's one of the main reasons how you find better equipment, though. You know,
Yeah.
you gotta look through stuff to find better stuff.
That's the problem, though, is it breaks up the combat, because it's like you're constantly you're fighting this group of guys, but then you got to stop, pick up all the money, and then search to see if something's slightly better or slightly worse than what you've got. And
well, I mean,
just takes
you
up
don't
way
have
more
to
time
if you want to, but I guarantee you.
Well,
you're not
yeah,
gonna have
but
as good
if you
stuff.
don't, then you're gonna suck because you're not gonna have the best stuff.
But they did fix ammo and money. When you just walk over it, it picks up automatically.
Well,
now. That's one of the new things they fixed too. But I would say your gameplay in this game is going to last you between like 40 and 80 hours, just of the first gameplay. Because if you're going to do all the side missions, the missions, exploring all the places, and leveling up your character. Now when you beat the game, you get a New Game Plus. When you start the New Game Plus, it's ridiculous. First of all, it starts everything as a crazier level, and they add new enemies. All the enemies are stronger and harder. But you do find better stuff and you level up faster on the New Game Plus. So, I mean, then that adds a whole nother like 40 to 80 hours to the New Game Plus.
What I like, though, is all the Easter eggs in this game.
Oh, there's a ton.
And we got some videos of them, so if
check
you
them
want to
out.
go check those out,
A little tribute to a ton of stuff, which I enjoy. And a lot of stuff you don't really notice unless you're getting the little clues they put in the mission names or stuff like that. But
yeah, I mean, like some
awesome.
of them are really subtle, but then you got like the Minecraft one where it's like you actually have creepers in the game.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Which they do drop some pretty good rare loot too, so go check it out. But
Always a reward for your experience.
And the game, I know a lot of fans were worrying about it. The game did bring back the couch co-op, so that's there, and then you got the 4-player online. No new game modes or anything like that, so just the 4-player co-op and the split screen co-op. And that's basically it. I mean, overall, obviously, the game's definitely worth the money. You're going to get a ton of hours in it. And the game, it sold really well. And they're ready to have, a huge thing that they're going to make a bunch of DLC. So, this game's going to last you long. And it's going to have a lot of stuff coming out that's going to even last you longer. And when Gearbox usually does DLC, they don't give you, like, a little cheap mission or two. It's going to add you another 10 to 20 hours of gameplay each
like
DLC.
A whole campaign.
Yeah.
Like the Claptrap campaign they added last time.
That's why I know a lot of people are, they only choose a certain amount of games a year because, you can't buy a lot. I mean, this is one of those games where it's going to last you a very long time.
Yeah.
I mean, it could last you like a year or longer easily of getting new content. So definitely, I would say, worth the money and go pick this game up right now. It's probably one of my favorite games I think I've played this year, and I've played a lot of games.
So pick it up unless you can't stand loot.
Yeah.
If you can't stand carrying around a bunch of junk, then
and I'm a horrible hoarder in all these games. I pick up everything. But anyways, this has been Major Tom.
And this is Warbrain.